Okay.
Okie dokie, yo. Is it true?
Okie dokie, yo. That song is awesome. But we are here on the Kpopcast.
Yeah.
To review AOA. It's January 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time for more K-pop. And these two songs that came out on January 1st.
Yep.
2017.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thing you're obsessed with these days?
K-pop.
What is this, Korean pop music?
The Korean wave?
It's the K-wave, and it's washed over Asia for the last few years.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
The girls' generation.
A wave of supergroups with infectious hooks.
I'm really impressed. I'm speechless, really.
It's a global phenomenon.
오늘 밤 우리 삐끼 해 yeah. Baby give me some, give me some yeah. 어디에 나가면 밤과 함께 다 들어왔다면 누구 차례
사슴같이 예쁜 누나의 프린세스 나를 보고 비웃는 게 너무 시크해
모두 날 보려 너 지금부터 잘 지켜봐
So, Daebak or Not is a section that we have on a lot of our shows where we take a look at the latest in K-pop. We review the song for its audio score.
Mm-hmm. We review it for its concept, which takes into account the MV and the overall theme, the idea.
The dance.
Mm-hmm.
The visuals.
Yep.
And then lastly,
we determine if it is Daebak or not.
Yeah. So we took a look at AOA's Excuse Me.
Yep.
And
Bing Bing.
Bing Bing. I keep wanting to say like Bling Bling.
Right?
But that's another K-pop song. So let's kick it off with AOA in their song Excuse Me.
All right.
So if you haven't seen it yet, AOA's Excuse Me is Chili Aegyo Spies, where each member of AOA is hunting to find a clue for some mysterious man that they're chasing, and they each sort of unveil or discover through gumshoe detective work on this mystery suspect. So kick it off for audio.
All right, so audio-wise, for me at least, right from the start, it definitely gave off that Brave Brothers vibe. Because if I remember correctly,
Brave sound,
right? For their last comeback with Good Luck and that album, that was their first time not working with Brave Brothers. So,
oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so I think they went back to it because Brave Brothers kind of proved to be consistent with AOA. Like they're a good match.
We listened to songs like the songs that Brave Girls get, or their other songs produced by Brave Brothers, and it's like, well, this was clearly meant to be an AOA song originally. Like High Heels, that's like an AOA song.
So, just taking that into account, I mean, there's a consistent, steady synth kick, or like that drum kick, the synths, and also that vocal riff effect whenever each of the members sings. That's like very clearly Brave sound.
I mean, if you listen to some of their other Brave Sound songs, produced AOA songs produced by Brave Sound. For some of them, you can actually hear a male voice.
Yeah.
In that layering. So, like usually for all the chorus, for some of their other songs, you actually hear a male voice layered in at the very bottom to fill that lowest range. And they're not as pronounced as the other ones, but that's for the people who really dig closely.
Like you.
Yeah. Or if you're trying to if you're trying to remix it, or if you're trying to do a vocal cover of it, that's when you start to notice, like, wait a minute, I'm missing something. It's because it has this lower. Yeah.
I actually never really paid much attention to that detail, especially in AOA songs, until you pointed it out to me before.
Yeah.
So from there, I listened to AOA and I'm just like, okay, where's that male layering?
Yeah. And then there's also all the hates and like Brave Sound.
All the ad libs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just gives off that Brave Sound signature. The chorus is catchy as all heck. We're a podcast. Can I say as all hell?
Yeah.
That chorus is catchy as hell, man.
Yeah.
It just gets stuck in your head. It's been stuck in my head this whole day, especially because I knew we were going to be doing this episode on it. It's just that, excuse me, or is it excuse me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had the same critique. But, for those of you who cannot see us, which is everyone, Matt was doing the
point dance.
And I think that's almost tied in with the identity of the song. I think we'll get to that more with the concept.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm right there with you, Matt. Like, in terms of how catchy it was. When I first actually listened to it, I did not think it was catchy.
Really?
Yeah.
With how repetitive it is?
But I thought it was very pedestrian in terms of how it was produced. But I'll get into it more with the concept. There was more that transfixed me.
Okay. Yeah. All right, for sure. But yeah, just going along with the chorus, I think one of the reasons why the chorus also stuck out to me is not just for its catchiness with with the repetition, but also I'm not sure if it was intentional that there might be like a double or triple meaning within the chorus, because it's supposed to be excuse me, but at times, at least to me, please tell me if I'm the only one here.
Okay.
It sounded like they're saying accuse me, or they're saying it kills me. They're saying accuse me or it kills me. Oh, who are you? It's killing me to find out. I hear all three when I listen to the song.
Oh, dang, it's
right?
Dramatic.
Right?
Bringing the triple entendre to the song is. I'm gonna say that was a happy accident.
Right. One of those wonderful things not meant to be, but it might as well appreciate it.
Okay, but you and I will remember it for being like a play and accuse and excuse. For sure.
And as we've established with the previous episodes of this show before too, I'm a sucker for double or triple entendres. So
what do they say in that detective lawyer video game?
What is it? Phoenix Wright?
Yeah.
Hold it, or objection.
Oh, okay. I thought there was accusation or something.
Or something along those lines.
Oh, okay.
I can't
never mind.
Yep. But just, I don't know. That triple meaning definitely stuck out to me. That's helped out with the chorus. You made reference to the point dance. Well, I guess we'll get to that in the concept, but it's stuck in my head now. I just like how it's electro inspired. There's definitely an EDM element to it.
Oh yeah,
but at the same time, you can also tell it blends with kind of a retro disco inspired sound. Or not necessarily full on disco, but I could see kind of leaning towards that direction. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I might disagree with you there.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
It doesn't have enough funky groove for it to be disco.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. And just one last note for the song. I mean, for the most part, I definitely did like this song. I remember you telling me beforehand that Excuse Me is the must review. So I was like, okay, must be really good then if Peter's saying that.
Well, when it came out, I was like, we had to do this.
Yes. I do like pretty much the song overall. The only part that it was kind of a bit on, I don't want to say it's a negative, I just felt like it maybe could have done better, there you go, was Jimin's rap, because her rapping itself, she's a great rapper, but the way that they changed the song, the instrumental for it. I was going to
say exactly the same thing.
It goes
was so jarring. Yeah. It was out of the blue. You're kind of doing this this cat-like dance.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom.
All of a sudden, it's modern day dubstep heavy bass, and you're like, where did that come from?
And they didn't even pull it off right.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
This is the worst part of the song, in my opinion. It's that break, the rap break, and they didn't go all the way to doing a full on. That full hip hop or dubstep sort of, because they could have been more aggressive in that instrumentality. But maybe because it's just pop, they wanted to keep it a little softer. So it just feels like a mixed metaphor in between it, and it's like it doesn't belong.
That's
in
what
the
I was
song
saying.
in terms
It feels out of place.
it doesn't. It feels out of place. Both it's musical incongruity, in between how it progresses there, and also in terms of the concept, it feels
definitely
not like it's supposed to belong there.
I mean, it is brief. Thankfully, it doesn't drag on too long.
That's
it's
right.
like an 8-section rap, but still, I mean, I feel kind of bad because Jimin can do better with her rapping.
Well, she did great. Yeah,
well, yeah, she did great. But then also, it's just like I feel like she could have rapped the same, and the beat could have just stayed the same instead of having that weird shift.
That would have been more fun. I mean, you know, some of my favorite like MCs and rappers, like they're able to take any beat and they get a flow on top of it.
Definitely.
And that's the best thing. In fact, sometimes like you'll take what I love to do as like, you know, mashing up songs is that you can take a rap verse and can put it on top of different rhythms.
Yep. Definitely.
And it brings a completely different feel to it. And they could have done that with this song.
For
like,
sure.
because, you know, I was already kind of on the fence for how I felt about the harmony of the song.
Yeah.
And just adding a rap brings a different feel to that harmony.
Yeah. So, considering everything you just said, I'm definitely in that same vein with you.
Yeah.
I mean, again, as I've said, I did really like the song. Don't get me wrong. It's enjoyable. It's probably my favorite of the two, which might be a little early to say. But again, that rap part does kind of kill it for me, or not necessarily. It kind of kills the mood for a bit before the song brings me back, because it goes back and then it ends strong. So all of that considered, that's why I ended up giving this a score of a solid 3.5.
Yeah,
I was considering giving it a 4, but then that rap break, and then every time I listened to it again, and I was just like, I think a 3.5.
Yeah, you gotta take it down a notch for that. You gotta penalize it somehow.
Yep.
So 3.5, 5 being highest, 1 being lowest for those of you who are just joining us for the first time.
Yes, that's right.
So for me, I think I don't have much more to add to what you were saying. I wasn't super impressed by the song, but I like it more than Good Luck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think this is going to be right up there with Heart Attack.
Okay.
I think it's that same sort of vein, obviously produced by the same guys, but like it's that spiritual successor to Heart Attack.
And see that.
As a DJ, again, that's, you play it in the same places,
right?
So that's what I like. Heart Attack is a very fun song to play because of how it feels and where you can mix it in and out of given its tempo, and this is just like that.
Sure.
It has a sort of ska-like beat in terms of that's where I really disagree with you strongly about that whole disco sentiment, because disco is like, you usually have like a deeper, funkier bass, like
you're right and
this is like or not, I can't
emulate the sound.
I can't enunciate the rhythm of ska, but it has the it might be a guitar, but some sort of string instrument where they just, you know, do one down strum or up strum for each offbeat. Right. And that's what I think gives it that very definitive ska like feeling. But in terms of the percussion, in the sense of the song, it's still your basic 4 on the floor house beat. So that's why I thought it was like, okay, it's kind of, you know, what we're used to hearing from Bright Brothers especially, but the harmony, or not the harmony, the vocals really saved the song. So for me, I wasn't impressed, but it did the job, and I give it a 3.
Okay.
For the audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're kind of almost on the same boat.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd be curious to hear what you guys, our listeners, feel about the audio for this song.
Yeah, for sure. Please share your thoughts with us.
All right. So concept, Supermatic.
Okay. Diving into the concept. For those who haven't seen it, it's made evident from the very beginning. AOA are detectives, or as you said earlier, they're like gumshoes. They're on this mission.
Or spies.
Yeah.
Aegyo spies.
They're on a mission to find this mysterious guy who we see, like, he's known only by the initials of KDY.
Yeah, they show it on the clipboard at the very beginning.
Yep. And he's this mysterious guy who's wearing like a tipped hat that hides his face mostly.
Yeah.
And he's in a sleek suit, and he's wearing like those black isotoner gloves. I think that's enough to like kind of scream shady for anyone, right?
Well, it's enough to say spy,
right? Definitely.
I mean,
like,
who
if
does
he
that?
himself is not a spy, maybe he's the mark then, maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you see a guy walking around in public with a fedora hat and gloves. It's like,
yeah,
something's up.
Or everyone's just kind of wearing like these more like little reserved like white or like blue, like these pastel-ish colors. And here he is in this bright red suit with a black hat. It's like, oh, he seems a little out of place.
Yeah, rather conspicuous for being a spy, so,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting. Like, I found it interesting what they did with the whole detective theme, but also like jumping a little to how the video ends. I was a little confused because I don't know what exactly they were going after this guy for.
And that's the real mystery.
Maybe that's what they meant. Leave it up to your imagination.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're trying to get out of him.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to get information. I was reading one of the comments on YouTube or Reddit. I forgot where it was, but it was something basically a line that's like, maybe they're going after him because he stole their hearts. I was like, you tried it.
Yeah.
You tried
Well,
it.
he's a drama king, right? The guy is an actor.
I think so. I feel like I recognize him from a K-drama or somewhere because he has a familiar face to me.
I see.
We were referencing it earlier as we were talking about the audio. One thing that definitely stuck out to me right away from the first time I saw it was the point dance.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting and funny to me for two reasons. So, like, one, although I will admit it's pretty cute, and I can see this being done by cover groups having fun with it, and also like on the dance floor at parties that you or any other K-pop DJs will play. It's a little funny to me. I'm not taking it necessarily as a negative, but it just, like, the thing about the point dance to me is that compared to the rest of the song, I feel like the point dance kind of clashes with the whole theme or idea of the song of Excuse Me. Because it's like the point dance, you know, we made reference to it. People can't see it, but like arms at the sides, it's almost like a cat-like motion. It feels like it belongs more towards an Aegyo type concept.
Well, it's Aegyo spies.
Well, yeah. But then I feel like the whole detective work theme idea or what they were going for here, I'm not sure if the Aegyo like fits. I don't know.
You forget that it's AOA that we're speaking of, who
that's true.
couldn't play lacrosse properly because they weren't wearing
any protective gear at all.
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean,
you're right.
What else have they done that? I'm trying to remember what else. What other music videos they've done where they're totally pathetically Aegyo?
Was like a cat one of them? I don't know.
Yeah, they were spies who weren't very good at doing what they're doing.
So I think we established that the running joke with AOA is that whatever they try their hands at, they are not good at it.
Or they'll try to make some comeback at the end.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, that's their shtick.
Mm-hmm.
They're always trying to do something to be cute. The dance is the big redeeming quality of the song. When I first saw this song, at the very beginning, I was watching it and I said, okay, this is them being Aegyo, and my eyes could not roll any further. And then the dance began. And it was January 1st, 2017. And I found my favorite K-pop song for 2017.
Wow, it's been so long in the year, though, Peter. Are you sure?
Well, at that point, that far into the year, I knew, that this was definitely the best that had come out for 2017, without a doubt.
Wow, strong and bold.
Yeah,
I'm surprised to hear you say that about an AOA song.
Yeah, so my wife is also making fun of me because I generally hate Aegyo, right? But she keeps commenting how I keep showing her Aegyo videos.
Yeah.
And I might be like an in-the-closet Aegyo lover.
Or maybe it's just slowly clawing its way out after all these years.
Yeah, maybe it's slowly affecting my judgment and like it's just wearing on me. But the dance is a sort of hybrid. I mean, we're doing it here on the podcast, which you guys can't see, thank God. But it's sort of a mix between Tiara's Bo Beep.
Oh,
in terms of where their hands are in the positioning and the shaking of the hips.
That's right.
And then AOA is like a cat for the cat paws and whatnot.
I see that.
And lastly, Brave Girls is high heels for the sort of trot. that they had. And I think
that's a
this
good way to
song
break it down.
is kind of like, a blend of those three. And it's a blend to great success.
Wow, now that you mentioned that, actually, I'm thinking back on how like all three of those other songs sound, and I could totally hear it now. And excuse me, I can hear and see all of it.
Hear it?
Kind of.
Huh. Well,
like
I mean, like
both people. Like
each of those songs are very. They're not. The tempo isn't hugely different, but I mean, like the style is very different between each of those songs, but I think the aesthetic, I think it's definitely a blend between those three. So
for sure, that's nice. Good way to break it down.
Yeah, I mean, what I love is that my favorite part to the dance. I'm sorry, I'm going off a rail here about the dance, but the dance is what the whole song is about. So my favorite part is, I think it's off of the first verse.
Yes,
where they're doing that trot, and they sort of turn around as they're doing the trot. And you see Choa do it, and
she's in the middle between the other 6 members.
Yeah. So when I saw that I was like, okay, this is the song, and that was it. And in fact, if that was all of the song, I think that'd be okay.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what else much to add to that. The only last note that I had as far as this MV, before I forget, I actually realized I forgot to write it down here, but one thing that I also really like to pay attention to, especially these days with K-pop MVs, is the way that it's shot, as far as like the setting, the filters, the cinematography. And I like the way that this one is shot. I mean, it gives off like kind of a bit of a film noir-esque feeling.
I would have to disagree with you there.
Well, I'm not saying it's entirely film noir, but I could see what they were going for in that direction, with like the whole 40s, 50s theme, the way they were dressed, the settings, everything. But I mean, when people hear film noir, they think black and white, but it doesn't have to be black and white.
Well, usually it's dark interior environments, lots of smoke, lots of people wearing fedoras.
Okay, maybe film noir is not the right word, but I'm just like, or just noir in general. I don't know, like that old school like detective style setting that they were going for with this one, which I like. And you always make a lot of reference to Instagram and filters.
Yep.
I feel like if we had to choose a filter for the way this one was shot, it would be kind of like what's it called, that sepia or sunrise filter.
I was definitely thinking that. I mean, even with the way they decorate the first shot, the south shot where they're all wearing the brown outfits, I mean that was very obviously carefully crafted, right? Yep. So to make sure that everyone was kind of the same color tone. But they alternate with different pastel colors throughout the music video. They have the blues on the subway, for example, the green in the guy's room. So they go through different palettes for each of the different sets. Sure. I would counter that. I would say that it's actually not film noir at all. I would say that it's more happy aegyo pastel trying to do film noir.
Okay, maybe that's a better way to put it.
Yeah. Trying to do detective.
Yeah.
It's Aegyo detective.
All right. So with everything that we just discussed, I kind of had a bit of a hard time of like really judging the scale of where I wanted to score this. Because it wasn't like, I don't know, even though I do like parts of it, there wasn't a defining moment for me to give it a 4, but I gave it close to a 4. Because the funny thing is that even though I did say that I felt like part of the dance clashed with the rest of the concept, I do like the dance. It sticks out. And as you saw earlier, I'm subconsciously doing it. Yeah. So the dance definitely played a big part in me giving the concept.
It was the only part.
It's what got me to give the concept a score of a 3.75.
Okay, not bad.
Yes.
I think that's pretty fair. So for me, I can't not talk about the dance. It's a very stupid, simple dance.
That's the highlight of it, though.
But it's not even technically difficult or very sophisticated, but it just has a very transfixing quality, I think, if you're a guy. So, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. I mean, these girls, the way they try pulling away this information from this marker detective, it's like, there are better ways to do this, girl.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to run Matt, you were mentioning earlier.
Oh, with the cup, right? The teacup.
Trying to get his fingerprint.
Yeah.
Okay, great job. You got him to take off his glove and to drink from the tea, right? And then as soon as he does that, she grabs the teacup and runs away.
In heels, nonetheless.
But she could have just waited for him to finish,
right?
and then take it.
Exactly.
Be a little less.
They seem like so
girl.
rushed too to just get this like right away.
Yeah.
Whereas in real detective work, sometimes you gotta wait for the moment.
Right. That's right. I think there were a few other funny things. So,
Sohyun.
She's walking through the subway, and my favorite character in this entire thing is the guy who sees her walking through the subway. She's wearing a coat, and I don't know why she does it, but she's like, okay, there he is. I'm going to stop. I'm frustrated about something. I'm going to take off my coat and keep walking. And the guy who sees this, he's like, what? He's like, what just happened? Yeah. And he's the straight man who's also wondering like, what's going on?
Yep.
So there's a lot of moments like that in this music video where it's like, I don't think he sees you. Like, why are you hiding? Like when Choa is looking at him from the window, it's like, come on, you're fine.
Right.
There's a few other tropes and cliches in it that I wasn't a fan of. I think it's really sorely overused, which is you see it in a lot of girl groups, especially those who are trying to balance that line between aegyo and sexy, where they had the line of girls. And they all turn around except for the girl in the middle, and then she slaps the butts.
Oh yeah,
and you see that all the time. That I think is, I'm saying it's overused, but at the same time, the main chorus is overused. But I love it. So I'm not being consistent here, guys. That I didn't like. The outfits, I thought were actually pretty good.
Oh, that's right.
The outfits were very good in this music video. In that it highlighted, I think, the choreo well. And if K-pop dance cover groups, if you're listening, you got to get similar outfits to do. In all seriousness, I think to really do this dance well, you need to be wearing something similar.
True.
I think to really show that movement. And I'm not saying that it needs to be a girl thing. If you've got to, like, but what I'm just saying is, like, if you want to see that dancing well, you need to be wearing those form-fitting, I think, outfits.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So for the concept, I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the bad things I'm giving it, like, there's a lot of things that irritate me, but the dance just outweighs it that much, you guys.
Really? Dang. Yeah. Enough for you to give it a 4.5? I was expecting, like, maybe at the most a 4 from you.
No. It's, again, my favorite song of 2017.
Wow. Okay, well.
January 1st, favorite song, 2017.
And as of this recording, January 5th, only 5 days into the year.
Yeah.
But okay, Peter's on his favorite K-pop song. So I guess we just go ahead and give our Daebak or not.
Yeah. So overall, what do you think, Supermatic?
It was Daebak.
Yeah, Daebak.
I mean, even though there were things about it that I definitely, or not hated, but like there were parts I felt probably could have been better. Daebak, definitely Daebak, especially that dance.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm going to give it?
Is it really a guess at this point?
Yeah, so hella Daebak. Yeah, this is a fun song.
Yeah.
I mean, the genre of K-pop overall is a guilty pleasure.
For sure.
And this is a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think I've been fairly transparent in that I don't need stuff that's very sophisticated.
Yeah, that's true.
To like it.
You're always of the lowbrow quality.
Yeah. So
it doesn't take much to please you.
Well, there are some things that will really irritate
that's
me,
true.
but this, I think it does it. So yeah, the audio is okay, but
the dance,
it just makes up for it. Okay, so that's AOA. Excuse me. I think they changed the number of syllables.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this.
Every time.
It was like excuse me. Or just excuse me.
Yeah, depends on what they're trying to, I guess, fit into the music. Let us know what you guys think. I'm at DJ Peter Low on Twitter. You're at
Supermatic with an O.
Let us know. want to be able to make all those what do you call it, the ad libs
Yeah.
of what's the rapper?
G-Man.
Like
Like all our, hey, oh yeah, can't nobody do it like you.
yeah, I want to be able to do that like during our show. Hey, yeah.
So just like somewhere interspersed in our conversations.
Yeah, Nurse Joyce, come here.
Hey, hey.
Just like that.
Brief cameo from Nurse Joyce there for all of our listeners.
Okay, so up next we're reviewing AOA's Bing Bing.
The second of their 2 release tracks for what's their new album, which is their first full album. Yeah.
So what, really briefly, what's happening in this one?
Well, as opposed to Excuse Me, where they took it upon themselves to become like gumshoe detectives, in this one, they are magicians' assistants.
Creating their own mysteries.
And I'm emphasizing assistants because everywhere online, everyone's like, oh, AOA became magicians. If you want to be technically correct, they are the magicians' assistants.
Yeah, you actually see the magician himself at the very beginning.
That's not to say they're not the stars, because one thing about magic and magicians in their shows is that the assistants usually are the stars because they're the ones that everyone is watching.
They are the main visual.
Right?
So, kicking off for the audio.
Shall we start with you?
Yeah, okay. So, this was clearly intended to be the sexier concept between the 2 songs, right?
Yes.
I didn't detect much, if any, aegyo in this one compared to their other song. By the way, let's just comment really briefly, like, what's up with like K-pop groups like doing 2 singles in a row now? It's like
Right?
it's kind of the new standard. I guess to be able to offer 2 perspectives at the same time, so you don't forget about them.
That's true.
So with the audio, it, in my opinion, it was in order for it to be sexier. I think it could have done that if they changed the percussion just slightly. If they gave more emphasis for the kick in the percussion, and I think there is other distracting elements from that prevents it from being more of like a booty shaking song, which I think would have been better suited for this and would have made it a catchier song.
Okay.
I mean, it's close to being, I think, a hit. I mean, but it in my opinion, it misses the mark.
Okay.
It just falls just a little short because I think of, it's not a bump, bump and grind song.
Yeah.
So it's closer to Good Luck, but I think neither of them really got to the point of being full on like
just get you up and dancing.
Yeah, and I mean, you see it in the choreography of the girls. Like, they're trying to do more of the hip sways, and they're very aggressive in the choreo, and the audio doesn't match that.
I see. So you feel like you're watching something completely different from what you're hearing.
Not completely. It's just that it doesn't go far enough. I think what would have been better is like Hello Venus's Wiggle Wiggle.
Okay.
I think not exactly that same beat, but something that
like
I kind of want to say hoochiness.
Not the word I was going to use, but okay.
It's very bassy, right?
Okay.
Very percussion based too. And this song, I think they add a lot of other, accompanying synths and brass to it. And I think lately
it's just more busy.
Brass I feel like has become, like those brass, sounds that you hear in K-pop, I think have become more of you pair it with sexy in K-pop.
I can see that.
And that's what K-pop as a genre is trying to do. And I don't think it always delivers.
Okay.
So it's close. I'm not really feeling this song. So it's not bad. So I guess I would give it a 3.1.
3.1.
Yeah.
It's like just a little above a 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So like pretty much mostly in that middle ground, but just slightly in favor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting to me. I mean, I'm mostly in the same boat with you where to me this sounds kind of like a bit more, or at least it was intended to be kind of the more mature of the two songs as far as like how it sounds.
Right.
It gives off that, or at least I think what they're trying to go for is giving off that sultry and sexy vibe.
Yep.
But I totally feel like there were a lot of things that they put into the song in terms of like instrumentals, and even with the like vocally wise, like we joked about it with Jimin and her ad-libs, which she's kind of known for throughout all of AOA's songs. But even in this one, it's like there's her ad-libs, and then there's also just a lot of different things that I'm hearing as far as the instrumental goes. I can't even pick everything out. It just sounds a little too busy for me to really like enjoy the beat that I'm supposed to be hearing.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like if someone else played this song, I'd be still dancing.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to be peak hour banger.
Yeah.
I actually like the ad-libs. I don't know.
Oh, really?
It's just her voice. Jimin's voice, I think, is just so good for those ad-libs. Even though they're so corny, just saying like, hey, and tell me how to do. Like,
especially the way that she says it too, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's got a very unique voice that I think makes it very good for it.
Yeah.
And it has attitude. And it's everything she's saying is so stupid and corny, but I don't mind.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, I'll agree with you there. Like the ad-libs aren't necessarily like so much of what I was citing out anyway. It was just more of like how I felt the instrumental could have been much better. Like one of those cases of less being more, you know, like if they took some things out, or maybe if they just switched things up, as you were saying, like they could have maybe added one or two different things, or changed or slightly tweaked something for the beat to fully hit the mark of what it was going for.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm like American. I also teach a lot of hip hop as
That's
well.
true.
But I just feel like if they gave more of that room and balance for percussion, it would become closer to like a hip hop song. And I guess, it could very well be that like Koreans in Korea, or those who just like K-pop aren't always into the deeper hip hop sounds. So that's probably why they went more PG and probably did more of a harmonious blend with it. But, I think if they focused it more to make it more of if they just slightly changed the kick drum pattern, I think it would have been more danceable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I'm just, I felt like I probably had another remark with the instrumental, but I think that covers all the bases. And honestly, I didn't really have too many notes, like prepared for the, for just the audio, because I mean, it makes me a little disappointed that not much like really stuck out to me. It wasn't like boom, or like at least it didn't have as much of an impact on me immediately as Excuse Me did. So that's why I think I gave this kind of a low score. I actually gave it like a 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. I mean, I will say that the melody for the chorus is good, and I kind of like hearing it.
True.
But the song as a whole, like I couldn't.
Yeah, like it has a repetitive chorus as well, but it didn't immediately catch on with me and hook me in like Excuse Me did.
Right. Right. I think Excuse Me was just such a happy accident with that dance, and the dance makes you want to listen to it again.
Yep, definitely.
Do it.
So, should we go ahead and move on to the concept?
So kick it away.
Okay.
The concept, Supermatic.
All right. So as we preface with it, of course, AOA have become magician's assistants for this one. And we see all 7 of the members pretty much performing different tricks or acts or whatever they're called these days. We start off with Sohyun. Is she supposed to have her hands cuffed? I don't know, because that was a pretty long and loose set of cuffs that she was in the water tank with.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. But yeah, I think...
Well, yeah, I mean, of course.
Magic tricks have... Yeah.
There's always loopholes.
Right.
But yeah, there's Sohyun in the water tank, and then there's Choa with the cane. We got Jimin with was it Jimin with the rings, or was that Chun? I can't tell. Well, basically, all 7 of the different girls have their different acts that they're performing, helping out the magician. And to be honest, I feel like this whole music video was pretty much like where the bulk of the focus was, in terms of this being like a very visually oriented video. It's all about the visuals, I feel like, with the girls looking as great as they do, doing all these acts, and also like with the dances, you know, as we said, the song sounds like it's trying to be more sultry and sexy. That's what it's intended to be, and well, the dance definitely complements that.
Right.
The way that they're moving around. I mean, credit to the girls for doing what they do. I'm not sure how else I can say that.
Okay.
But one thing that did definitely stick out to me that I liked was how, of course, AOA being the Ace of Angels, that's what AOA stands for, in case anyone didn't know, listeners out there. They have this whole theme and backdrop of like playing cards, specifically aces.
Yes, sir.
From like a house of cards, like whole tower that they have behind them on stage, to just the playing cards appearing when each of the girls' individual tricks.
Yep.
So I like that they kept that theme. And if you actually look closely, the cards are either actually like an ace playing card, or it's customized where it says angels with a symbol in the middle,
That's
which is
right.
AOA symbol, which I thought was really cool. So props to that for like those little like tidbits, or I don't want to call it an Easter egg, but just like those little things that they throw in there, you know?
Yeah, it's a nod to their concept.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was admittedly a little, like, just very slightly caught off guard at the ending when Seolhyun disappears from the water tank. Spoiler alert for anyone to see it. Because the thing is, like, with it being AOA, of course, like, what I thought was going to basically happen is that she would escape from the cuffs and then come up breathing for air. So when the curtain
that
dropped,
would have been
then,
more provocative.
yeah. Because the whole theme of like with the sexiness and stuff, and of course it being Seolhyun, the main visual coming up from the water, like that's what I expected.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest. I think that was probably something that they probably considered when making this, but it's hard to do that all the time.
That's true.
I mean, with good luck, was her hair wet? Did she come in and out of any pools?
I don't think so. I don't know if any of them went into any of the pools actually,
or the beach or whatever. Because I think they don't want to screw up their makeup.
Yeah, that's true.
And it is hard to do that, to try to be sexy at the same time. I mean, but you do have to applaud that they were able to do that while she was in the water.
Yeah. Like, we actually checked out the making of film before we started recording this, and she legit went into the water and they were shooting her while...
That's right.
Yeah. So credits to Seolhyun as well for being able to do that. Like, imagine having to hold her breath underwater and like be this visually stimulating at the same time and filming the music video.
Yeah, yeah. So you and I were both watching the behind the scenes music videos, behind the scenes for both these music videos, and what really stood out to me for this song was that I thought the magic tricks, and I put tricks in air quotes, is that they looked a lot more compelling in the behind the scenes version.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of CG, I think, which made it into the final cut.
Yeah.
You know, this hat magically lands into my hand. And I mean, I think it's a little too much that you can see it there. And if they were able to slightly tweak the in-person tricks, which we saw in the behind-the-scenes music video, I think that would have been better. It would just require a lot more work in terms of cameras and conveying that well.
Yeah.
So,
but then again, on that note, maybe they didn't really put so much focus or consideration into that, because with it being AOA, again, like I said, what they were breaking out, it's about them and them being them, like looking sexy and provocative. Yeah. I will say, I feel like this is probably, I don't want to say it's one of their better visual MVs, because I feel like we could probably like instantly cite music videos that they've done that are more visually and aesthetically pleasing than this one.
Sure.
But it's still a really good visual MV. I just feel like it's a little unfortunate that it's a good visual paired with a not so good song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that I thought the visuals for Excuse Me were very good. And that song, I think, matched it. Yeah. With this, I felt really the same way I felt with the audio, that it didn't quite, it was definitely heading in the right direction. But I feel like it didn't make it over the brink, make it over the edge, into actually being a successful concept or song.
Yeah. That's why, like, I'm with you there as well. So my concept score actually was right there in the middle. I gave it a 3 because I liked the idea of what they were doing with the whole magic trick idea, and of course with them being AOA, like, props to them for knowing what works, which is AOA being AOA on stage. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't really anything that like stuck out to me or struck me that was like, oh man, this is a really great concept or a great music video. 3.54, like nah, I'm in that middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, with the production for this concept, it definitely felt like it came a little short, just a little. I mean, it was still done well, but it could just because of the label and they only have so many resources. Can you imagine Twice doing the same concept? Maybe not being sexy, but in terms of the overall production value.
Yeah, I could.
Think of the production value that you see in Twice music videos, and imagine if they applied that same level of production quality to this song for the concept.
That's true.
And I mean, you can see a very big difference.
Yep.
You can see that gap between the production value of a Twice song versus AOA. So that's why I say it fell kind of short.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they could have shown the girls in different ways. Same thing with the song.
Yeah.
I like all the sexual nods in it. I mean, obviously, look at the dance choreography. There's several parts, and they make it very obvious in the music video where you're looking at nothing but their butt.
For sure.
Right? I mean, there's like at least like 2 seconds through the course of the entire music video where the camera's transfixed on nothing but their butt when they like kind of bend over.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's obviously trying to be sexy, and then part of the main choreography is them just kind of moving their hips and like, you know, going in 4 different directions. And, and that's it. And they do very aggressive hip swings, but not in. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm a former Latin ballroom dancer. And Latin ballroom, you're all about moving your hips. Usually in a figure 8. In this, it was side to side.
Yeah.
More. And I think if they really wanted to do that sensual thing, it would be less side to side, 1-2, and more like a sway. That would have been better, in my opinion, in terms of changing that, you know, sensual aspect and make it more alluring, more of a magic trick that you're kind of like, you know, bringing you in.
Yeah.
So, the choreo wasn't doing it for me. Going along with that sexy concept, I like how they put all the cards into the top hat, and the top hat kind of ejaculates all the cards.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who's thinking that, but like there's a lot of moments like that.
I could see what you're talking about.
I think, you know, that's that innuendo I could have worked better for them if they just gave it a little more, you know, just gave it a little more fuel. Just what's another word for it?
Little more oomph.
Like you know, like MSG brings up like the savory flavoring, or you give like a nitro in your car and go faster. Like that's what I mean, like
boost or
like
something.
give it gas, you know, like give it jayo, like you know, give it more of that sexuality and that tongue-in-cheek, you know, sexy double entendre, and then it would have been a better song in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure, I agree.
So if you're gonna do it, go all the way, guys. Don't kind of. They went like 75%.
Yeah.
For the song and not 100%. And when you only go 75%, it's not. It creates a very different product.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the girls. Nothing on the girls, but I blame this more on the label, in the agency.
Yeah, FNC, man, you got some work to do.
They did it right for Excuse Me.
That's true.
And I think they didn't use the resources completely appropriately for doing Bing Bing.
Okay.
But it's hard to predict these things in advance.
Yeah.
It really is. But it didn't make it all the way. So for me, concept, I guess I shall go with a 2.5.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's also on the low end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Daebak or not?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say not for me, because I don't know, maybe it's just because I watched and listened to Excuse Me first, so maybe set the bar too high. But even like without that, I just feel like if I were to watch Bing Bing first, I would still feel a little underwhelmed.
Yeah, that's right. And for me, like it takes effort to like it. I mean, it comes so close, and you really do want to like it, but yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it's horrible.
Yeah.
But it's not fantastic elastic either. So I'm going to give it a not Daebak.
Whoa. I'm just realizing, is this the first time that both you and I have given a not for a Daebak or not? Have we agreed? I don't remember if we've ever... I know we've agreed before
Did
on
we say
Daebaks.
G-Friend was both not Daebak, or was that just me?
Maybe just you, I don't know.
Okay. Did you think Navalera was Daebak?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
did. Yes.
Then yes. This is
Wow.
the very first time.
Very first time in Kpopcast history, Peter and I both agree on a not.
Wow.
Thank you, AOA. Or FNC, I don't know.
Okay, but hey, I'm cheering for AOA.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
I
am too.
loved Excuse Me.
Mm-hmm.
They can bring it, and you can tell the girls are making the effort
Yeah, they are.
to perform.
Mhm.
What K-pop group isn't? But FNC, come on.
Yeah.
There's a different approach, different strategy that you could have done this.
For sure.
All right, so that's it for the K-Popcast and AOA.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in as always, and please feel free to share your thoughts with us again.
Yeah,
Social
let
media.
us know what we should review for our next Daebak or not.
Absolutely.
Again, I'm at DJ Pilo or DJ Peter Low. Sorry.
And I'm at Supermatic with an O. That is SOUP. Supermatic.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye.